Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Stihl MS311 chainsaw. The customer complaint is that it starts, but it doesn't run very good. With all of these type of repairs, I like to look into the fuel tank first and see what we got going on. I'm looking for fresh fuel. I'm looking to see if there's water in the bottom of the tank. And I also like to take a look at the fuel filter and pressure test the fuel line. So we are going to pull this filter off of here. And, you know, sometimes these filters are really stuck on here. You got to be careful about how you get it off because you could actually wreck the fuel line doing this. But let's put 10 pounds of pressure on that fuel line and see what it does. I mean, it looks like it's holding. That means that the fuel line is good and there's no holes in it. It also means that the carburetor is tight. The needle is seating. So on the surface, it doesn't look like we have any fuel problems between the tank and the carburetor. Certainly there could be a problem inside the carburetor that's not a leak. Let's take a look under the hood and then into the cylinder and see what that looks like. 3 screws hold this cover down. You got to get all the screws loose before it'll come off. There we go. It doesn't look too bad under here. You know, first impressions mean a lot. It looks like this guy's been cleaning this thing up, or he doesn't use it very much. I can't quite get the spark plug boot off. It's stuck on there. Here's another place where you got to be kind of careful when you got something that's stuck. You don't want to separate the metal terminal from the plug wire while you're popping that wire off. Sometimes what you want to do is, you know, give it a good twist while you're pulling on it. I think he may have replaced this plug at one point here, trying to get it to run better. It doesn't look great in here. It doesn't sound great when I pull the cord. It almost sounds like something's touching the flywheel. You know, there could be something loose floating around in there and stuck to the magnet on the flywheel. Or maybe the ignition coil itself. I don't know. But holy moly, that screw is tight, huh? Let's get this starter off of here. Gotta crank the old snap-on up to max to get this thing to back out. Four screws, nothing crazy going on here. So what do we see? Well, it looks like that ignition coil is actually rubbing up against the flywheel. It's not good.
I borrowed this.
You can have that. I hate that screwdriver. Thought I'd like it, but I just hate it.
Why?
So this one, you pick a direction and you hit the button. It seems natural to me. This one, well, you just used it. You got to find this, and then you got to push real hard.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be the easiest.
Well, when you compare it to this one, it sucks.
I've never used that one. I always just grab this one. I need to.
I can't find these online anymore.
No?
No. And I got people looking.
Got people looking.
I got people looking. So there you go. You heard the story about my screwdriver. I'm going to post the name of the screwdriver here, and Maybe you guys can help me find another one. I'd like to keep a backup. So let's take a closer look at this coil again. It is actually completely destroyed. And you can see the flywheel where the fins have been rubbing on that coil. He said it ran. I should have probably tried it. I can imagine that it did not run good. Today we're going to use a new camera that I have. My buddy Tom over at Vintage Engine Repairs. Check out his channel. He did a video on this scope, and actually it has a thumb wheel on there, and the end of the scope will bend like 120 degrees. But the real advantage is that the head of the scope is only 3.9 millimeter. And I have tried it. He showed it on his video. I ran it through a carburetor, under a piston, and into a crankcase to look at the bearings on a chainsaw without taking anything apart. So I think that tool is going to come in handy. Alright, we did look in the cylinder, and it wasn't great. At this point, you got to be careful. You don't want to make a mistake here. And what I'm getting at is, does this saw just need a new ignition coil? Did the coil come loose and hit the flywheel? I think a lot of people, they see a problem and they want to fix it, rather than seeing a problem and wanting to find out why it happened. Now, to see a destroyed coil that apparently came loose and hit the flywheel, I don't know how much a replacement coil is for this saw, but if you were to just go out and buy a coil and bolt it in here, that would be a big mistake. Take a look at this.
Ew.
A lot of times the problem you see and are trying to fix, that problem is the result of a bigger problem. So we saw a coil that apparently came loose and was touching the flywheel. But in fact, we have a bigger problem, and the coil touching the flywheel was the result. Look at this crankshaft. Let's get this drum out of here. You get a better look at what I'm talking about. There's a single E-clip. And then a washer, and then we can get that drum off. It's not going to fall off on its own, but once we take it off, we're going to see that the crank bearing is out on this side. And it's so bad that the crank was pivoting and the flywheel was touching the coil, which had no problems at all and was probably tight at the time. But you tighten the chain, then you put a big angle on the crank in there, and I mean, look how bad this thing is. That's more than the gap, the air gap between the flywheel and the coil. So this one, the customer elected not to fix. So that's all I'm going to have for you on the Stihl MS311 with a bad crank bearing. Thanks for watching. Later.